Okay, let's start with the class then. We have to read the from air pressure. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then continue with the reading section.
Ma'am, may
Read.
I read?
Yes, Advi,
Ma'am,
just
may
start.
I read?
Advika, then Pratik, then Isha. One passage at a time. Okay, one paragraph at a time. Means air pressure, then Pratik, air pressure and speed of wind, and Isha, expansion of air. Okay, then if time left, then we will be reading ahead. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
okay, start.
Air pressure. Why does a flag flutter, especially on a windy day? Why do the leaves of a tree move when the wind blows? Sometimes the leaves and trees are uprooted due to strong winds. Similarly, what do you observe if you are riding a cycle against the direction of the wind? You will experience difficulty in riding the cycle. These examples illustrate the air around us exerts pressure. In simple words, air pressure is the force exerted by the air molecules. This pressure exerted by the air is very significant. Sometimes the air pressure is so strong that the roofs of the house or buildings are blown away or they collapse. This happens especially during strong air movements, that is, winds. We can experimentally prove that air exerts pressure through an activity.
Experiment. Read the experiment.
Let's read this. Aim to demonstrate that air exerts pressure. Material required. Use plastic tin water bottle can. Fill half the bottle with hot water. Close the bottle immediately with lid and cap. Now pour cool water over the bottle. You will observe that the bottle becomes destroyed or crushed. It is due to the pressure of air outside the bottle. As the cool water is poured over the bottle, the steam inside the bottle condenses into water due to the decrease in temperature. As a result, the air pressure inside the bottle decreases, whereas the air pressure outside the bottle remains the same. As the air pressure outside is more, it crushes the bottle.
अच्छा बेटा, अगर कोई रीजनिंग के क्वेश्चन आए तो इस तरह से साफ समझा के लिख पाओगे ना?
Yes,
इस
ma'am.
तरह
Yes,
से
ma'am.
समझ, हाँ, जैसे इसमें एक्सप्लेनेशन लिखा गया है, आप लिख पाओगे ना कि नहीं लिख पाओगे?
Yes, ma'am. We
लिखोगे?
can write.
Ma'am.
Oh, okay. Read the next one then.
Let's try this. To investigate the impact of wind on air pressure, take two balloons filled with water and tie them with strings as shown in the figure. Now blow air with force in between the space. What do you expect? Will the two balloons stick together or will they move away? Note down your observation. It will be observed that the balloons come near each other and try to stick together. This happens because the air pressure in the region between the two balloons become less than the air pressure on either side of the balloon. This proves that wind or high speed flowing air decreases the air pressure. Air pressure on mountains or hilly areas is less as compared to that at the sea level. That is the reason why a packet of chip or a Tetra Pak appears slightly inflated in hilly areas and looks slightly crushed in the plains.
बेटा यहाँ दैट इज द रीजन कहा है, लेकिन अगर दैट इज द रीजन ना गिव रीजन होगा तो कौन सा एक्सप्लेनेशन लिखोगे? बॉटल क्रश वाला या बैलून वाला? रीजन कौन सा लिखोगे? बॉटल क्रश वाला या बलून वाला? रीजनिंग कौन सी होगी? बॉटल क्रश वाले एक्सपेरिमेंट का रिजल्ट
Ma'am,
या
bottle crush.
बॉटल
Yes,
क्रश? बस चलो, ओके प्रतीक, रीड द सेकंड पैरा,
ma'am.
रीड द
Air
नेक्स्ट.
speed of when air moves gently or at a low speed, it is called. When the speed of moving air increases, it is called wind. The speed of wind can be low to very high. This moving air or speed is responsible for many phenomena like storms, cyclones, etc., which we will study about this later in the chapter. Speed of wind impacts the air pressure. The same concept can be understood. For example, the roofs of huts, houses are blown away during high-speed winds or storms. This happens because the high-speed winds reduce air pressure above the roof. This creates a pressure difference between The regions below the roof, above the roof. The roof gets a push from below and gets blown away. Hence, we can conclude that as the speed of air or wind increases, the air pressure decreases. Also, that air moves from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. Greater the pressure distance, higher is the wind speed.
Start from air pressure and wind pressure. Start from the beginning. Air pressure and speed of wind. Start from
Yes,
there.
ma'am. Air pressure and speed of wind. When air moves gently or at a low speed, it is called breeze. When the speed of moving air increases, it is called wind. The speed of wind can be low to very high. This moving air or speed is responsible for many phenomena like storms, cyclones, etc., which we will study about later in the chapter. The speed of wind impacts the air pressure. The same concept can be understood by another example. The roofs of huts or houses are blown away during high speed winds or storms. This happens because the high speed winds reduce the air pressure above the roof. This creates a pressure difference between the regions below the roof and above the roof. The roof gets a push from below and gets blown away. Hence, we can conclude that as the speed of air or wind increases, the air pressure decreases. Also, that air moves from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. The greater the pressure difference, higher is the speed wind.
ठीक समझ में आया ईशा अब आगे का रीड करो
Yes, ma'am.
एक्सपेंशन ऑफ हाँ अरे ट्राई दिस
Expansion of air.
ट्राई दिस करना एक्सपेंशन ऑफ एयर करने के बाद ट्राई दिस पढ़ना ठीक है
Okay,
पढ़ो
ma'am.
एंड
Expansion of air.
रीड स्लोली
Yes, ma'am.
सो दैट द वर्ड्स आर क्लियर विद एवरीवन आप अपने लिए रीड नहीं कर रहे हो सबके लिए रीड कर रहे हो चलो
Yes, ma'am. Expansion of air. In the previous class, you have studied that all the three states of matter, that is, solids, liquids, and gases, expand on heating and contract on cooling. So, air also expands on heating and contracts on cooling. In the chapter on heat earlier, you have studied that hot air rises. As air is heated, it expands and occupies more space and becomes lighter. Hence, hot air is lighter than cold air and always rises. Let's try this activity to demonstrate that air expands on heating. Materials required: boiling glass test tube, balloon, two beakers, hot water, and chilled water. Procedure: tie the mouth of the balloon to the mouth of the test tube such that it securely covers the entire mouth of the test tube. Now put some hot water in a beaker. Immerse this test tube with the balloon tied in the beaker containing hot water. What happens to the balloon after a few minutes? You will observe that the balloon is inflated. Now take out the test tube holding the inflated balloon from the beaker containing hot water. Place this test tube in a beaker containing icy cold water. What do you observe after some time? You will observe that the balloon becomes deflated. In the first instance, the balloon gets inflated as the air inside the test tube becomes warm when placed in the beaker containing hot water. The hot or warm air expands and fills up the balloon. In the second instance, when the test tube containing the inflated balloon is kept in the beaker containing cold water, the air contracts and escapes from the balloon, making it deflated. Let's try this activity to
समझ में आया
demonstrate.
तो कंक्लूजन समझ में आए कि नहीं आए
Yes, ma'am.
ओके चलो
Let's
नेक्स्ट
try
वाले
this
पे
activity to demonstrate that warm or hot air rises. Materials required: two paper cups, a stick or a scale, a candle. Procedure: take two paper cups, hang them upside down using strings by tying them to the two ends of a stick or a scale. Place them over the fulcrum as shown in the diagram. Place a burning candle under one cup. Be careful to adjust the heights of the cups so that the flame of the candle does not burn the cup. What do you observe? You will observe that the cup above the burning candle rises. This happens because the air above the candle becomes light due to expansion by heat. It therefore rises, pushing up the paper cup.
In the adjacent activity,
Yes,
next
ma'am.
page में
In
जाओ.
the in the adjacent activity, we saw that warm air is lighter and hence rises. The cold air from the surroundings rushes up to fill the space. This results in convection currents. The importance of this shall be discussed in the following sections.
अच्छा, एक चीज बताओ. तुम लोग ने जापानीज लैंटर्न देखा है जो ऊपर दिवाली में छोड़ा जाता है?
Yes, ma'am.
तो वो क्या किस प्रिंसिपल पे वर्क करता है?
Ma'am, expansion of air, ma'am. When the hot raises,
वहां एक छोटा सा
Ma'am,
कैंडल एक
expansion
साइड,
of warm air.
एक्सपेंशन ऑफ वार्म एयर, बिकॉज एक छोटा सा लाइटर टाइप का जाला रखा जाता है, राइट, जिसके से जो उसके अंदर की एयर है हीट अप हो जाती है. अच्छा, हॉट गैस,
yes,
हॉट एयर गैस बैलून्स की भी यही फिनोमिना है, यस और नो?
yes,
Yes,
जितना
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
ऊपर
ma'am.
जाना होता है उतना हीट प्रोड्यूस की जाती है, जितना नीचे आना होता है उतनी हीट को कम कर दिया जाता है, तो वो नीचे आ जाता है. ठीक है, तो ये दोनों सब कुछ और एग्जांपल्स हो गए अगर एग्जाम में पूछे जाएं कि इनमें क्या प्रिंसिपल वर्क कर रहा है. ठीक है ना, बाकी आप अपनी डेली लाइफ से ढूंढ लोगे.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
बाकी ओके, चलो. विन जब टाइम है तो विन करेंट स्पीड पर टाइम है कि नहीं है? विन करेंट शुरू
Yes,
करने
ma'am.
में खत्म हो पाएगा?
Yes,
अगर
ma'am.
Yes,
शुरू
5 minutes are left.
ओके, अगर शुरू होने पे खत्म कर पाओगे तभी शुरू करो, नहीं तो नेक्स्ट क्लास में.
We'll finish.
ओके, अद्विका पढ़ो, और स्लो पढ़ना, साफ पढ़ना. पढ़ो.
okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
पढ़ो.
Wind currents. Winds are fast moving or flowing air. Let us discuss how winds are generated. Uneven heating of the earth. The region near the equator are heated directly by the sun's rays, as the sun is directly overhead at the equator. The air gets heated up, rises up, and creates a low pressure. The cooler air from the surroundings move in. The cooler air comes from the region in the 0 degree to 30-degree latitude belt on both sides of the equator. These winds blow from the north and south and the south towards the
टुवर्ड्स द इक्वेट.
towards equator. At the pole, the air is colder than the lower latitudes. Air are areas around the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. The warm air at the lower latitude rises, and the cold wind from the polar region rushes in to take its place. In this way, wind circulation is set up from the poles to the latitudes.
अच्छा बेटा, आप लोग को ये लर्न हो जाना चाहिए. फिलिंग द ब्लैंक से पूछा जा सकता है किस डायरेक्शन में विंड मूव करती है. ठीक है, मेरी बात समझ में आई या नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, गुड टू नो पढ़ो.
Good to know. Monsoon Ram in the East Khasi Hills district of Meghalaya is often regarded as the wettest place on earth, with an annual rainfall higher than any other place on earth. The southwest monsoon winds mostly causes the long rainy month in my Monsoon Ram.
मौसिन राम, मौसिन ग्राम, मौसिन राम, क्या बोलते हैं? मौसिन
Monsoon Ram.
राम. अच्छा, इसके ऊपर जो अनइवन हीटिंग ऑफ अर्थ का एक आपने क्वेश्चन भी किया है, ये फिगर दिख रहा है, इसकी प्रैक्टिस कर लीजिएगा. दो क्वेश्चन है ना इससे रिलेटेड आपके कोर्स में.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
दो,
ma'am.
दोनों में सेम फिगर है, प्रैक्टिस जरूर कर लीजिएगा. लास्ट पैरा पढ़ लो, लास्ट पैरा पढ़ लो.
Yes, ma'am. Uneven heating of land and water. During summer, the land around the equator warms up faster. Hence, the temperature of the land is higher than that of water in the oceans. The air above the land becomes hot and rises. This causes the wet wind to flow from the oceans towards the land. These are called monsoon winds. The winds from the oceans are loaded with moisture and are responsible for rains. However, in winter, the direction of the winds changes. That is, the wind flow from the land to the ocean.
अच्छा एक चीज बताओ, ये जो दो फिनोमिना तुम लोग ने पढ़े वो कॉन्सिक्वेंट हैं या साइमल्टेनियस हैं? आर दीज टू फिनोमिना कॉन्सिक्वेंट और साइमल्टेनियस?
Ma'am, they are consequent.
दे आर साइमल्टेनियस. कॉन्सिक्वेंट क्या होता है? एक होने के बाद दूसरा होता है. क्या ऐसा होता है? ऐसा होता है कि दोनों साथ ही में होते, दोनों फिनोमिना साथ ही में होते हैं? दे आर साइमल्टेनियस. ठीक है, ध्यान रहेगा.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, दोनों चीजें साथ ही में होती है. चलो मैं क्लास एंड कर रही हूँ. थैंक यू.